Let's talk about why you want to buy on either Cherokee or Douglas Lake. Cherokee Lake is a very large lake here in East Tennessee. It's different than other lakes in the fact that it does have some coves, but a lot of the properties on Cherokee Lake are going to be on the main channel. Now, you can imagine waking up with the lake in the background, the mountains in the background, and think about all the family fun you can have during the spring, summer, and fall out on the lake. Douglas Lake has beautiful views as well because you do have the Great Smoky Mountains that are just right at their back door. And Douglas Lake is also a hub for fishing tournaments, pleasure boating, just spending relaxing time out there with your family. So, something you may not know about Cherokee and Douglas Lake, they are fed by rivers such as the Holston River and the French Broad. What that means is that TVA controls our lakes. The lakes were created from these rivers. TVA controls the water levels on them. During the spring, the lakes are brought up to what we call full pool, which is going to be around 1075 on Cherokee. During the winter months, such as what we're in right now, the lakes are being pulled down. So I've had people from out of state that came in during the winter months to look at property, and they're like, "Are y'all in a drought? Why are your lakes dry?" And they don't go completely dry, but depending on where you're at, you may see a lot of mud where during the spring and summer months they're going to have water. But TVA does pull the lakes down in the winter months. This is to help keep the river levels fuller so that any kind of ships, barges, whatever can get through. And it also helps to generate our electricity because of the dams. So our electric costs here in East Tennessee are going to be much cheaper than in other parts of the country. So what do the different seasons look like on Cherokee and Douglas Lake? During the spring, you're going to have the vibrant greens that are sprouting up everywhere around the calmness and serenity of the blue water of Cherokee Lake. Now, I can tell you, you've heard of the book 50 Shades of Gray. In East Tennessee, when spring happens, it's seriously like 50 shades of green. I noticed that one year when I was driving over to Tazewell and I was looking around, and it just seemed like there were so many different shades of green that I had never really noticed before here in East Tennessee. So it is a beautiful time of year when you see the greens in contrast to the blueness of the water. And then when summertime comes, obviously people are going to be out on the lake. You're going to see the most activity on the lake during these times. People are out on their pontoon boats, people are out fishing, people are doing kayaking, swimming, whatever. But the summertime is definitely a magical time out on our lakes here in Tennessee. Now, the fall is what I would say is probably the most beautiful time of year when you go to look at the lake, because you have the contrast of the reds, the orange, the yellow, just spotted down the shoreline and contrasting it with the blue water of the lake. It is absolutely gorgeous. So we just went through the fall season here. I had several properties that were on the lake or lake view that we were taking photographs of. And they said, "Well, we're just not sure if we're ready to list yet or if it's going to be a couple of months in the future." And I said, "Let's go ahead and take the pictures now, because the beauty of East Tennessee in the fall, especially around the lake, is incomparable." During the winter, because the lake does come down, you're going to see more mud than you do the water, depending on where you're at. But it's still a beautiful time. When you get that fog over the lake because of the coldness of the air, it's just beautiful when you go by. And people are still out there fishing, even though it's like 20 degrees outside. It's crazy. So if you're thinking about moving to a lake and you're just not sure which lake you want to be on, I would strongly encourage you to come to East Tennessee and check out Cherokee and Douglas Lake. If you're wanting to live the Tennessee lake life, you definitely want to check out Cherokee and Douglas Lakes. I'm Amy Shrader. I am a lakefront expert in the area, so feel free to reach out to me and we can get you scheduled to go look at some gorgeous lakefront homes or lots on both of these lakes.